When I began collecting Famicom and Super Famicom games, my aim became to own all the games I wanted on actual cartridges instead of having to rely on emulation. First priority is of course retail released cartridges, but in a pinch, when games are too rare and expensive, I resort to reproductions, pirate carts or multi-carts. But what we have here is such a thing as an official multi-cart, called the Nintendo Power cartridge. They were made in a cross-promotion with the Japanese convenience store Lawson, where Japanese people could go in and stick one of these cartridges into a machine and download a game onto it, sort of like how they used to do it with the Famicom disc writer. These cartridges show up online every now and then, and I got my hands on one, because one contained this game, Sutte Hakkun. This game is kind of an interesting case in a way, because it was first released on the Satellaview, then the year after on the Nintendo Power service, and the year after that it got a full retail release, as late as 1999, 1 year before the last Super Famicom game ever was released. The Nintendo Power and the retail versions are pretty much identical, and mostly improved over the Satellaview or BS versions, if you will. Sutte Hakkun is a puzzle platformer, with the emphasis on puzzle. The objectives are simple: get every crystal to complete the stage, then go on to the next. You play as a transparent, flightless bird that has the abilities to move left and right, jump, suck in blocks and colored ink, and to spit out said blocks and ink in another place. The name Sutte Hakkun pretty much means Mr. Suck and Blow. Sutte coming from the verb su, to suck or inhale, and Hakkun comes from haku, which means either to wear or to vomit, both of which applies to this game. In basic terms, what you do is you suck up a block and put it somewhere, then suck up a color and inject it into the block, which makes it move in one of 3 ways depending on the color. Red goes up and down, blue side to side, and yellow in a diagonal. If you put in a color in a block and then take it out again and return it, the movement starts from the point you left the block at, which makes it go higher or farther. Use the blocks and colors to get to the crystals. You can also press R to look around the stage, and press L to lock onto a block, although I don't know what good that does. The game starts out pretty simple, but it gets increasingly difficult over time. Personally, I got stuck on stage 1-8, because as I found out later, to beat this one you have to know another move, that you can hold down Y after placing a block and then press up or down to raise or lower it. You need to raise a block to beat this stage. That combination of buttons wasn't readily apparent, to me anyway, but I can't complain really, because the game comes with a detailed and fully interactive tutorial that teaches all the moves, and it is recommended. It's in Japanese, but at least you can watch the bird go and then repeat. Each level starts you out with 1,000 points, and as you move, they decrease, and the objective becomes to clear the stages in as short of a time as you can. If you fail, you can restart, and there's no time limit, so you can stare at a screen with a question mark on your forehead as much as I do. If you need it, the game does have a hint system, which shows only one screen where the blocks are all places the way they should be in order to get the crystals. However, if you use this, you lose half your points, and the game adds a black mark on the stage selection screen. For shame. The graphics are pretty simplistic, with the background of the first world looking like the default background picture from Windows XP. But at least it all looks nice and clean, and the music accompanies it well, being overall very nice and mellow. This game appeals to me, even though my brain power for these kinds of puzzles tends to run out a bit faster than I would like. It would have been nice if the game had enemies or something else to increase the motivation factor a bit, but the general niceness of the game and leisurely pace and presentation makes for a relaxing puzzle experience that is sure to test your mind.